groups and then work on an exercise. Is it okay?
Just
Okay, some of you say don't like to work because you want to sit down and listen only. But I think if you work, you learn. So the notes are all inside your material, the notes. So no need to write down, no need to copy. Just anticipate. I want your feedback, I want your input, so that we can learn together better. So let's start off with the some of you may not know me. I am an engineer, Frankie Chong. Frankie Chong. You can call me Frankie. Frankie is my Christian name. Professor told me, asked me yesterday, am I a Christian? I said, yes, I'm a Christian. And he's a Buddhist. So I think we have diversity here, right? Diversity. So I graduated actually in UK many years ago. So sometimes I speak, maybe my mind is a bit modified by the British people. A little bit only, not too much. Because people say I am a foreigner. I say, no, I'm a Chinese. So I started off as an engineer. And of course, after that I do a lot of projects, a lot of engineering projects and also finance projects. Not so much of construction, but still I have of course some buildings to build for my telecommunication project. And after that I also get involved in IT, information technology. How many of you here are IT people? Any IT people? But you use IT for your work, I'm sure. Oh, your IT, okay, very good. Yeah. So the IT project management, I think is more challenging than the construction. Agree? Yeah. Sure you agree, because you are IT people. Yeah, because IT involved a lot of people. It's a socio-economic, a lot of socio-economic issues. But nevertheless, now today's topic is about risk management. Risk management, I'm taking it from the PMBOK. The PMBOK. PMBOK, some of you may not know what PMBOK, but PMBOK is actually right? Project management body of knowledge. Right? I'm taking the risk management processes from PMBOK. PMBOK, tomorrow I talk about more about PMBOK tomorrow. Tomorrow. So today I just take out the risk management and I'm going to talk in more detail. So you can always check me out if you have the time on my LinkedIn. I don't know how many of you are in the LinkedIn and also my some of my website. You can always email to me. I don't know why they give me warning every time. Oh. IT people, yeah, IT people. Alright, yeah. So my email number is there. You can always contact through the email, no problem. You can continue to discuss. And also my telephone number. Telephone number for you when you go to Kuala Lumpur, that's where I came from. Kuala Lumpur, please call me. Yeah. Then we can go and have what you call it, teh tarik, I don't know if you know about teh tarik. Teh tarik is cooling the tea, they call it. Now, overview of project risk management, right? Risk management. So, when we talk about risk, is there any project without risk? Anybody? Any project without risk? Is there any project without risk?
Never.
No way. So now the world is becoming very, very complicated. Now it used to be very simple life. I live very simple life last time. I cross the road, I close my eyes, okay, nobody knock me down. Only the cows knock me down. But now if I try anywhere in Phnom Penh, sure I finish. So a lot of risk nowadays. So whatever, whether it is your personal life or whether it is your project, a lot of risk. And therefore, we need to concentrate on how we can manage the risk for your project. Because if you manage your risk well, your project will be more successful. No guarantee, but it is going to be more successful. Right now, overview. Now I'm going to cover this. For the morning session. So identify, quantify, evaluate, and manage risk. So I want to plan for both. Also, when you plan your risk management, you must also consider known and unknown risk. Anybody can give me example of known risk? Known risk. Yeah.
Known risk that means risking to the future.
Yeah.
This will be create.
That's right. You know it will happen.
Thinking and create like we think.
Yes. What about unknown risk? Can you give me example unknown risk? Anybody? Unknown.
Disaster.
Yeah. Okay. Tell you the truth. Unknown risk you cannot name because it's unknown. Okay. It's actually like that. But I'm just telling you what they think about unknown risk. Unknown risk means you don't know. So anything can happen. Okay. So then I want to monitor the identify. So you need to identify the risk and then monitor them. And then you stay alert for new risk. And number 5, and last one is to recognize and respond to positive and negative risk. So when you talk about risk, always consider positive and negative. Oh, people say risk is negative, where got positive? Is there a positive risk? You think so? Is there such a thing as positive risk? Yes. Oh yeah. What is that? Positive risk. Okay. You look at the positive side. Very good. Sometimes we all think of risk. Risk is something actually cause you damage. It's a threat, a damage or loss. Usually that is negative. But positive side of the risk is opportunity. So when you talk about risk, always consider both sides of the coin. A coin of both sides, right? You consider the positive side and also the negative side. Yeah, because positive side is the one give you a lot of opportunity. The opportunity is very good. Not just about the damage, right? Damage, loss. So when you talk about today, actually, before I came here, I saw the CNN news. CNN news. A lot of this now, Ebola virus is affecting the whole world now. So, anybody from Africa just came back from Africa, then the Ebola disease is coming out. So then you see, so if the disease comes out, is it going to be negative risk or positive risk? Ebola. Negative to all of us, most of us. But to the doctor, positive, make money, make money. Doctor say, better, more virus, more drugs. What about the drug maker? Pharmacy, also a positive risk, good opportunity. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when you look at risk, always look at both sides. Where is my So overview of project risk management. So definition is important. I take it from the PMBOK. PMBOK guide define risk as an uncertain event or condition that if it occurs has a positive or negative effect on one or more project objective. Okay, so positive and negative. So most of the objective we want to achieve will be scope, schedule, cost, or performance. These are the main objective. So now when we talk about positive, negative risk, and so we also need to talk about a little bit about your this pen not good. This pen not good. You cannot see, Okay.
Bài của món này thua.
All right. Okay, Sophia, you can stay there. You can stay there. Risk attitude. When you talk about risk attitude, it's important because your attitude will decide what action you want to take. Yeah, attitude. So we talk about attitude now. So if I talk about attitude, number one, I always talk about risk lover. How many of you here are risk lover? You love to take risk. Any one of you here? Oh, good, huh? That means you like to do bungee jump, right? No problem, huh? Bungee jump. You know bungee jump? Yeah. Risk lover. And I never try because I get heart attack. Huh? So the other one is the people who are risk adverse. Risk averse is the opposite of risk lover. People scared of risk. You know, are there such people? Are there such people, risk averse, scared of risk? That means they dare not take any chance. You know, if you ask them to go shopping, now risk neutral are the people like most of us here. Neutral. We all take calculated risk. So can we calculate risk? What is the chance of that thing happening, right? And then I is impact. So now probability means sometimes you use a probability of 0 to 1. What it means, 0 means nothing, cannot happen. 1 means pay tax is 100%, you must pay tax. 2 things in life, for sure one, you pay tax and you die. 100%. Oh, red cannot see. Medium, half, and low is sometimes seldom happen. Seldom. So you use these numbers to calculate. Okay? Time, the loss of time. Sometimes impact also environmental impact, etc. Many types of impact. So also we can use the same thing, 0 to 1 or 0 to 100% or HML. Right? High impact, medium impact, low impact. So it's 50%. So 0.5. So it's quite clear. Deterministic probability. Okay. But some a lot of other things very hard. So what is the chance of, let's say, the tsunami attack Phnom Penh? What is the probability? Can you tell me? 0 point? 0 is 0. You have to ask the weatherman. Weatherman is a calculation. The weatherman, because a weatherman, every time you see the television, the weatherman will say, there is a 50-50 chance that it will rain tomorrow. 50-50 chance, he said. So I also can say. 50-50 chance, either rain, don't rain, right? So it's either rain or don't rain. 50-50, so you put P 0.5. You know what I mean? Yeah? So anyway, this is quantitative. So you need to come up a lot of data gathering. Why do you think? Like weathermen, they collect a lot of data. Then they check, then they.
I have one question. Why scoring not considered as quantitative? Scoring system.
Scoring.
Yeah. Why not considered as quantitative?
Or the score actually, yes, they do consider. Because with the score, let me show you what. Let me see. Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
I use Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo simulation. Because Monte Carlo simulation will give you the score. The score, now, how many of you have done Monte Carlo? Maybe in your master's or PhD. That's Monte Carlo. Oh, very good. You know what I'm talking about. But this is a bit different. This is a bit more advanced. I did not try to cover here. So many people don't do that. But basically, that's what it's for. Quantitative is for simulation purpose. Basically, simulation purpose. So if you simulate, then you get this.
But I think, Frankie,
Then you get this.
your question is the earlier one, isn't it?
Yeah. But
I think his question is earlier one.
the early one will show
The matrix.
Yeah, the matrix will score.
Yeah.
And then you not consider it as quantitative.
Now the quantitative also you can use that, the score, same way. But the main purpose of quantitative is more for this Monte Carlo. The main purpose is more for this. Now when you do a Monte Carlo, then you come with this, and it gives you a very good overall sense of project.
Frankie, maybe
So-
I rephrase this question. I
Yeah.
think he has got a question there.
Yeah.
Is that we are using numbers in qualitative analysis. Am I right?
Yeah.
Last step is qualitative
Yeah.
analysis.
Quality.
Why number is quantitative? Why you use in qualitative? Is that a question?
Yeah.
Okay, you see the, now don't confuse with the numbers. The numbers. The numbers here, now if I put, let's say, if I look at the score, okay, these are the score.
Yeah.
This score are numbers, no doubt.
Yeah.
They're numbers, but it's for qualitative purpose. Qualitative purpose. So from here with the numbers that you come, these are all actually very rough estimation. So when you come up with this qualitative analysis, you come up with some score. You can either use some numbers. So sometimes they use probability of 5. That means it's a medium. Consider as medium. Now when you put medium, then you put 0.5. That is defined in your plan, your risk management plan. How you define it very important. So what is M? M will be 0.5. Low will be, then you define as another number, right? Now this number, these are not real numbers really, because this is estimation. So at the end of the day, I want to know, okay, I got 0.45, then I refer to the matrix table, and from there, then I work out the contingency plan. In the quantitative analysis, same thing you also can do with a real number. This time maybe a bit more real, weather or whatever it is, yeah. And then also you can do some also look at the table if you want. Look at this table. It's some real number. You can look up this table. This is a matrix. Yeah. Is it okay? Yeah. And the quantitative way, whether using real number or the scale. The scale. Here using the scale. HML is the scale. H maybe you put down as 0.9. You define what is H 0.9. M you define as 0.5. Low you define as anything below 20%, so 0.2 and below. That is your definition of the quantitative. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Quantitative, of course, you can also use that. Same way.
My understanding, like Monte Carlo, different from DHS, only Monte Carlo has ability to accumulate the risk for lifetime dependent risk. Yeah. And it's just one case happened.
Monte Carlo is a simulation. They put in a lot of variables, input variables. They churn out many input variables and get the output variable to simulate the situation. Many inputs.
Yeah.
This is only one. Yeah. So to me, I think quantitative can be more accurate if you have the number.
Yeah.
If you don't have the number, then you simulate it. You know what I mean? Simulate it. Then you have some idea. Now, if you look at the simulation, let's go back to the simulation. Now, this one will give you some idea. Now, what is the chance of your project finishing in by 250 days? If you turn out some quantitative analysis simulation, come out with 100%. And what is the chance of you finishing by 210 days? What is the chance?
40%.
About 40 to 50%. So these are all simulation model or quantitative analysis. But most of the time we use qualitative for this purpose. Check. Unless you got the real numbers and check it out in simulation. No, but the quantitative is also used for other purpose. Let me show you the EMV purpose. So you know EMV, yeah? Maybe you have used this before, EMV. Expected monetary value. EMV. EMV. EMV is very simple. Actually, they use the same formula as this, EMV. Right? Here, R is a dollar. How much of money? P is also the probability. And then I is an impact. For example, here. Now, if I have, let's say I want to know what is my opportunity to do some business. So if you think your probability 0.25, then you put 25% chance. And then the impact, maybe you say opportunity is plus, I mean $10,000. Then your EMV will be this multiplied by this. Then you get 2005. It's expected. Expected. So it's the same. You go to casino. What is your EMV? You must put out the probability. You know, what is the chance of the red color come out? And then the blue color. 50-50 of course. So your EMV, so depending on your EMV, you can work out what is your, whether you should go this decision or that decision. So this one is good for making decision. Making decision. So decision 3. Now sometimes in project you have to make some decision based on some calculation, EMV calculation. It's a bit better because in your report, if you want to report to the board of directors, you say, oh, I want to pursue, let's say, to do this project. Then you say, very good chance of making money. Then the CEO will ask you, can you give me some numbers? Numbers is actually more easy to prove it or to substantiate it. So you might ask for numbers. So if you have some numbers, then okay. Otherwise, it will be very, very qualitative description. So if you have numbers, put in numbers. For example, now sometimes I want to decide, I want to buy, let's say you do a system. You can either do yourself or buy outside. Which is better? Then you look at your decision. Right? You can decide you buy or you do yourself. In this case, the IT system. So either you buy or you do yourself. Now if you buy, what is your chance? Come up with some numbers also. Some probability numbers. So if you can feel, because when you buy, the field needs only 10%. For example, only 10%. And there's no additional impact. If you do not, if you buy, there's no field the need can be high. You buy something outside, you're not sure what it is. So put 60%. The chance that it's not working. And if it's not working, you lose how much? Minus. You may lose $200,000. Come up with a number. So you work out the EMV for all this. Then also look at, I don't want to buy, I want to do myself. I code, I do myself. If I do myself, it can happen whether it works or it don't work. If it works, the chance is higher because you do yourself. The chance is higher, so you put 80%. Example, if it doesn't work, you say, oh, my chance of not working 20%. Right? This is just example. So work out the EMV now for all this. How you work out the EMV? Okay, go through one by one. First find out what is the path value. We call it path value, next path. This path value how much? This path value how much and so on. So the first one, what do you think is the path value? Path value will be, if you look at it, 50,000. If you purchase, you will come out with $50,000. Right? The chance of not working is 40%. Therefore, 40% times 50,000. The EMV is minus 20,000. Then, if it meets your need, 60%. It does not meet your need, 60% chance, and you lose also 200,000 because you pay for the contractor and so on. So you have, now that means you work out the EMV will be 60% of this and 60% of that. So you come up with minus 150,000. Okay? Now same thing for your, if you do yourself, working, if it works, 80%, then work out the EMV for this path value. So 80 times 120,000. If it doesn't work, 20% of this and this. So you have 30,000. So you have that. So now you work out the EMV for to buy. So you add this and add this. Right? Add this and add this. That will be your EMV. So if you add up, how much is that? 20 and 170 minus. Minus, that means you're losing. And also, if you do yourself, add up to minus 126. Of course, you will come up with money investment. Minus means investment. So which is better? Why? Why you want to code? That means the number is smaller. Then why you go for the smaller number? Less cost. This we're talking about cost, not profit. And this cost, lesser cost. Therefore, you go for profit. You go for profit. Do yourself. Right? This is more for the quantitative analysis of the risk. Yeah? More for this EMV. So, okay? Right? Quite simple, quite simple. But of course, decision making becoming very now, very scientific now. Very scientific. Used to be, we don't use all these numbers, now we use numbers. How many of you study operational research in your postgraduate? Operational research. No? Operational research deals with all this, all numbers. That means everything now in life, you can quantify. You can quantify. You can even quantify. When you want to get married, also they can quantify. The child order. If I marry this girl, what high means 0.9. Then you need to define 0.9. Then medium means 0.5. Low means 0.2. Use this number.
Qualitative?
Qualitative?
Qualitative.
Not this table. Not this table. Qualitative, you use, as I mentioned, you describe H and R. And from there you move forward. So qualitative, sometimes for the CEO, but some CEO, because they study this operational research, they want some numbers, give me some numbers, and you give this number. Quantitative. Under quantitative. As far as PMBOK is concerned, it's under quantitative analysis. PMBOK, PMBOK. I'm talking about PMBOK. If you have some numbers to back up, then use a quantitative to back up. Oh, this is better than the other one just now. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You mean you cannot hear me just now before this? Also can, huh? So alright, no reason. I put it here. Those of you who want to take the PMBOK exam, these are the way to study. I tell you the tricks tomorrow. Now the strategy here is the two types, the negative and the positive. I think this one, I think yesterday Professor Sunji also talked a little bit about this. But basically, avoid means, that means you, let's say, no, don't do it. It's the best way to avoid. But don't do it, then you don't have money. So you cannot just simply avoid. So now, if you cannot avoid it, then you do the transfer or effect. Now, how do you transfer? What do you think? How do you transfer the people, sort of people, to
Like good manage mobility of.
That's right, you can mobilize it. And especially in construction, they're they always try to subcontractor transfer the risk to the subcontractor. And finally, the subcontractor transfer the risk by insurance. And this is what we call in Malaysian contractor, the Chinese contractor, they say they like to play Tai Chi, you know Tai Chi? Tai Chi? Yeah, Tai Chi. You give me the risk, I push it back to you, Tai Chi. Then they go to Tai Chi, they call Tai Chi. The other one is mitigate. Mitigate means minimize it. So can you minimize your gain, go to your people risk? Coaching and so on. These are important strategy. Mitigate, try to reduce the risk. Mitigate means reduce the risk. Try to reduce. There are many ways, right? And finally, last one is don't just simply accept. When you simply accept, the boss asks you, you simply accept, then I don't employ you better. You must come up with some strategy also. Don't just simply accept. You can say, oh, this thing I cannot do. But a lot of risks which are uncontrollable. Uncontrollable, maybe you cannot control. That is okay. You can accept. Uncontrollable. Like Ebola, how do you control very high? Right? Weather, cannot. So, now this negative risk. Then positive, let's look at the positive. The positive, the idea is to actually make more money, basically make more money. Now how you make more money? Exploit. Exploit means, so for example, Ebola virus, now in the CNN news, so your country may some of the doctors will send out announcement, or the doctor start to buying the drugs now, buying a lot of drugs, store the drugs, very cheap price. Then later on they sell to you. You buy the price maybe $1. Then you sell the when Ebola come, make it make it for example enhancement. Like Ebola, then the doctor, the medical association will come up with a statement. So everybody must try to inject